Hello, good evening, people. It is Kiasha Dilworth, nicknamed Puda or Kiki, um, with No Good Do Gooder, with the N-O and the K-N-O. I'm coming to you with a message today, because basically I hear a lot of stuff about, like, let's see, um, like people are confused as to, like, how I got my freedom outside of the matrix, you know, and how I'm not under some, like, kind of trap. um I've explained this several times before, but it seems like people just don't believe that a lot of shit is real. So one thing I explained is the fact that if you don't have any karmic debt, that means you don't owe any karmic debt. Okay? And since a lot of things that happened to me weren't by me going out and being malicious to someone else, or it wasn't even me going out being just fucked up towards myself either. It was all by the hands of other people, plotting, planning, staging, setting shit up, basically. Okay? So I came into this world, this go round, no karmic debt. Okay? And if you're still saying, like, well, how did you do that? It's because in my previous life or lives, I still did good work. You know what I'm saying? I still produced things that were able to help everyone and not just myself. Okay? Now, that doesn't matter if people turn around and corrupt these systems or places or situations while I'm gone. Meaning, like, if I'm passed away or if I'm, like, truly just a child. Okay? Everyone has to remember, your soul and your spirit never die. So even though your vessel will die eventually, right? Your soul and your spirit never die. Your Akashic records is tied to your soul and your spirit. So that's attached through all of your lives, no matter how many you've had. 3, 10, 15, or like myself, over 21 lifetimes. Like I've been here at the beginning of when this earth became this earth. I wasn't lying about that. I won't doing it for attention or nothing like that. That's just real truth that God told me. Mother and Father God told me. So there's, like, no reason for me to just make some shit like that up. I mean, I don't know who would make something like that up, but I mean, you got people out there that'll do a lot of things. But anywho, excuse me, I had to burp, but they told me how long I've come back. And so imagine at the beginning, whether people were here or not, right? And things have to be created. It doesn't matter how big it is or how small it is. And when you come from a God, okay, meaning mother and father God, Ra and Isis, all right? Even though there were other gods before that, like Anu, Enlil, Enki, and so many more, right? Everyone still has a role. It tells you that in history. And what you're going to understand is none of the roles were to belittle somebody or chastise somebody or hold somebody back or to not exercise your rights or education. Okay? Everything was about learning, exploring, creating, and making things better, no matter what planet they went to, no matter what galaxy, no matter what celestial system, it didn't matter. It was learning. Okay? And even if there were inhabitants there, it's like it wasn't to hurt those inhabitants. It was to make life better, you know. So that's all I did every time I came, you know. And I left great impressions on people, and then I left some not so great impressions on people. And the people that I didn't leave a great impression on are the same people that just don't want to change. You know, they want to be able to continue to take and steal, cheat, and lie, and pretend that the other world doesn't exist. Meaning, okay, this holographic one has been created and it has sustained itself and it has been working, and we want that to continue, you know. And so they do any and everything they can to a person like me to stop my progress so that world that they thrive in can continue. No one ever banks on the fact that God just doesn't want that anymore. You know, God has already said to so many people, hey, this is over. You know, God has made different declarations to be like, you're supposed to enforce this, you're supposed to enforce that. The change was supposed to come in 200 or 300 years ago, or, you know, something like that. And as long as they were able to suppress God, and I know that sounds bad, but it's the truth, okay? Then a lot of things they can get away with. And what I mean by suppress God is you can say, hey, I love my God, and don't you talk about my God, right? Have you ever actually really had a talk with God? All right? Then it's the thing of, even when I say I have had actual conversations with God, people get jealous, envious, and they have hatred because they believe that their God that they serve and they've worshipped and they've been devoted to has left them in some kind of way or led them astray in some kind of way, and they're mad at me about it because, you know, I'm not as devoted as them or in their circles. So why would God like skip over them and come to me? And it's not about the scripture, no matter what religion you are. And it's not about, you know, who's your pastor, your priest, or your bishop, any of that. It's not about where you go. You know, what people don't pay attention to and they don't want to deal with is any trauma that they've ever had. And that's what you're supposed to do. You know, so you can be so devoted to God, you know, and then God will say, if you have a really personal relationship, or if you just go into deep thought and meditation about any parts of your life, okay? God will say to you, well, you know I'm a God, and you know I'm the God of love, one true God. Love doesn't hate. Love isn't jealous. Love isn't envious. Love isn't angry to the point where it wants to attack you, kill you, X you off the planet. And you could read scriptures from all of the different prophets, and this is something that's innate in you. So reading a scripture, knowing each word back and forth, does not take away the fact that you know right from wrong, and that you know you're not operating out of love. And so God will be just like, oh, that's great, and I'm going to skip right over you and I'm going to go over here because I recognize her. All of what she is love. She radiates that no matter what someone says or does to her or say about her. No matter what is being thrown her way, she still radiates that. You know, it's not like I'm letting people kill that with inside of me or diminish that, because I've had those things happen. You know, and I've had it where they take my soul and my spirit too. And I've gotten my soul and my spirit back because I never auctioned my soul or my spirit up, meaning I never sold it to anyone, anywhere, at any time. Okay? And so I'm telling everyone what I did not do and how I really am and the way that I actually act. But people think it's like some fucking facade, and it's not. You know, when you apply logic, understanding, you look through history, and you read your scriptures, you know, you can say out your mouth all day, every day, that, you know, I don't like these wars. I don't like what's happening to children. I don't like all this violence. I don't like this. I don't like that. What are you doing about it? And even if there are people out there that are doing something about it, they're still getting killed behind it. What are you doing about that? So it's like, I'm just trying to explain to you how God operates. I'm not trying to diminish how you see God in whatever religion you honor. I'm just telling you how God operates, because I found Mother and Father God, and I married myself to them, you know. So I know. I'm not just saying these things because, you know, I want the, recognition or the, I don't know, be seen or something. It's just truth that just needs to be out so people can understand, so they just won't be wandering around wondering, damn, like what the fuck am I doing wrong? And the only thing is you're not going within to deal with your trauma. And even if you're going within to deal with your trauma, you still can't blame the person that did inflict the trauma on you. It's like you can forgive, but you don't have to forget. And sometimes people don't like that, but it's the truth. It's like, okay, if someone did do something to me, and then if they come back around and they still exhibit that same behavior, I am entitled to say, hey, you, whatever your name is, I've seen you before. I know how we get down, and I know how this is handled and everything. And I'm cool with just being friends with you. I ain't going no further than that, because you burned me this kind of way last time. Or you did this to me the last time. And nah, I ain't going back down that road again. Nah. Ain't my cup of tea, you know. Okay. So that's just me expressing myself and letting you know, like, yo, I know what you up to. I know what your game is, and I ain't playing it. So when you come at me with that type of game, I'm already telling you, like, yo, yeah, I'm going to give you the business back, but I'm going to give it to you verbally, and I'm going to give it to you to your face, like, nah, nah, I'm not stunting that. I don't want to be bothered by that. You know what I'm saying? See, that counts as good karma for me. It will count for good karma for you too. You know, when you see something and you discover, hey, it's not good for me, or you just get a feeling about it and it makes you uncomfortable, because of peer pressure, they want you to stay. You feel obligated to stay. Unobligate yourself. You are not obligated to anyone except for yourself. You know, and I'm talking about, that's like peers and stuff like that, co-workers, your, you know, your community. And also, I don't have like a selfish nature at all. I don't. Any negative words, I understand that those are demons. So, no, I'm not going to stay selfish. I'm not going to stay angry. I'm not going to live in hate. I'm not going to live in jealousy. I'm not going to live in envy. You know, I'm not going to be walking around here shaming somebody or shaming myself. You know, I don't have a lack mindset. And I'm not going to project that onto anyone. I don't care if it's a child. No, I'm not doing that. Because that does not have them grow mentally. And the ones that do that, they know that. They know it is a trauma response that can happen to you. And it will make you feel so bad and horrible. And you would think bad about yourself. And then eventually, because it's done so much, it breaks. It splits your personality about yourself, like how you think about you. And no, I wasn't ever like that about me. I don't care what other people have said about me. And I might have waddled in certain things a little bit longer then. And then I did like hold grudges, even though I didn't know that's what I was doing. Like I would get away from folk and I would mean it. Oh, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to be around you. No, I don't like you. Yeah, I remember what happened and I'm good. Sister out. You know what I'm saying? And I would forgive, okay? But I didn't forget, you know. And so even when people would try to come back around, all those feelings would come right back, you know. And yes, it'll put me on a defensive, you know, but it's to protect myself. Okay? Now, this is what I want people to understand. Sometimes you can think a person is staying in the past because of what the past has done to him or her. And then you say to yourself, oh, they've gotten over it. Oh, it's gotten better. Oh, I can come back around and, you know, we can pick up where we left off. Or they're not going to be thinking about that. That was years ago. Whatever. Okay? I need for you to understand this. It's not that a person stays in the past. It's not that a person hasn't grown mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, because they could have done all of that. It's what your presence triggers, which takes them back to that time frame. It's what has been shown actively to that person's face. And they can clearly see, oh, he or she hasn't grown at all. Because they still coming at you with the same toxic behavior. They're still trying to, swindle you out of something. And they're using the same ways to swindle you. And they think you don't see it. And you see it clear as day. Okay? So even when you address it with that person, and you can say, hey, the last time you came, you gave me the gift of gab, but then you told me you was going to do this right here, and you never did it. And then you said, oh, but don't worry about it. I got you the next time I come around. This has already happened 2 or 3 times. Here it is the 4th time, and you're trying this again. And I have said X, Y, Z, and you're not listening to me. And so therefore, I am not going to help you with whatever it is that you need because you have never returned the favor. And you know what that person would say? Oh, you don't have to be angry with me. Or why are you coming at me like that? I thought we were cool. This and that. Yeah, we are. But we also are cool enough for me to tell you the truth too. Cool enough for me to get you to go on about your business and find somebody else. Cool enough for me to express myself and tell you no. Now, just because you don't like hearing no, that ain't my problem. That's not my problem at all. That's your problem. And so a lot of the people that done things to me are people that don't like hearing no. It don't matter how small it is. You could have asked me for a pair of my damn panties and I was just like, no. Some I ain't even tell no. Some it was just like, hey, what you doing? I'm like, I'm out. And they were like, you out where? I'm like, I'm on a date. And then they just flip a whole wig. Like, I ain't even supposed to be out on a date. And I'm just like, well, we ain't together. We ain't boyfriend or girlfriend. And, we did hook up a couple of times. And, But somehow people feel entitled to you, even though they're not you. And also, entitled people really feel entitled to you, and they're not you. Okay? So you have on the lower end of the spectrum, the disrespectful. That's how I'm gonna put it. And you have the high end of the spectrum of the disrespectful. They're both entitled. And everything in the middle is the toxicity. It's the same. It's just a different person. I've said that before too. There's no new moves. All they do, they just bring in a fresh body to do the same shit. So when people ask or say, why isn't she trapped up by now? Why isn't she in some form of trouble? Why isn't she just bound? And why can't I curse her? Why can't I hate her? Why can't I? It is my life. It is not your life. It is mine. I never sold my soul. You people sold my soul, not me. And then you didn't sell the new version or soul of me in this lifetime. You sold the older versions of me in previous lifetimes. No matter which way you do it, it's still wrong. Because again, you are not entitled to my life. You are not entitled to me. I don't care what the rules were last lifetime, or 4 lifetimes ago, or 10 lifetimes ago. It's not the same now. God knows that. God understands that. And God was never down for the shit that y'all were doing. Satan technically was never down for the shit that y'all were doing. Okay? But God and Satan actually agreed, okay, for the sole purpose to trap all of you up. I was informed along the way, but very little. Very little. Throughout my life, it was very little. They'll say 1 or 2 or 3 words to me, and I would keep it, I hold on to it. Next time, it'll be something else, but it'll be a couple of words. Because you literally paid people to take me out, that's when the game changed. And everyone became active online. Okay? And that's when everyone activated me. So once the thought on some kind of conscious basis from multiple people were to put hits out and prices on my head, it activated my spiritual team, angels, gods, ancestors. And I was already in the process of doing that. Okay? But you folks tried to intercept it each time. That's why it's like I'm still looked at as a child. That's why it's like I'm looked at as being delayed or a late bloomer. And there is no delay. There is no late blooming about me. And I am not a child. But that is the narrative that you kept running for a very long time. Very long time. And you felt like because you didn't technically understand my energy, but you knew it was pure energy, you wanted to control it. No. So it's one of those things where different realms, different planets, different celestial systems, different gods, they see what you do. Just like you tested me and you did all these bad things to me, they watched. And as they watched, they were like, yep, this is going to be X'd off the list. This is going to be X'd off the list. This is going to be X'd off the list. These people are going to be out of here. We're not going to deal with this anymore. We're going to eliminate this part. We're going to take these spells out. We're not going to make sure that they remember this right here. And no, they do not need certain information. The people that are in charge of the hidden information are not the people that were supposed to be in charge of the hidden information. The people that were supposed to be in charge of the hidden information are people like myself that has a connection with the earth, that has a connection with God, that has a connection with other realms, that has a connection with everything. And not just this earth, not just Satan. And I have a connection with Satan and all of them too. And therefore, that's the change that God is making. You know. And when you know I don't have any karma, because my Akashic records was left open for people to peek in and see it. Okay? And that was never supposed to be a thing. So it's like they're doing preventative maintenance there too. So that doesn't happen to other people or to keep happening to people. Because it was wrong. Really wrong. On a whole nother level wrong. You know. And when I don't have karma in heaven, I don't have karma on earth. But when you inflict karma on me, on earth, okay, to circumvent your karma on earth, because you have karma in heaven and on earth. All God does, reallocate it back to where it's supposed to go. And I still get credit for all the shit I went through. No matter what. I'm talking to my niece. And because it's not my karma. You know. Just like bad people look into my Akashic records, you've actually looked into yours too. And you know when something's going to happen to you. And so you figure out a way to make that happen to me. Well, you did in the past. That is what's not going on anymore to anyone. Okay? You know, you can't throw your shit on somebody else. And even when you had a way and you were doing that, and you knew it was wrong and you kept doing it anyway, so that still counts as bad for you guys. And so even when I found out what everyone was doing to me, and even if I didn't know who everyone was or is, my responsibility was not to do it back. You know why? Because it would inflict karma on me. That's what you guys wanted. You wanted something that would stick on me. But I would have had to retaliate in the same manners as you. Why would I do that? Why would I let you win the battle of my life? Why would I sacrifice myself for people that want to kill me? And when all of you have known that I didn't do anything to you, and you still did it anyway, and it's like you were hoping that once I found out that I would just, want to inflict like that same kind of pain right back on you. I knew immediately I didn't have to do that. It's your karma season. Everyone has different karmic seasons. So, you're going to get it anyway. So, I didn't need to do anything. I just had to do what people would say, weather the storm, so to speak. And continue to live my life the best way I could. But stand up for myself. And, I don't understand why when everyone is so hateful and you want to spew that hate towards the person that you need or the person that you want. And you're so hateful as to want to either kill her or trap her or end her life because I cut my energy off to you. When half of the time, it was God that cut my energy off to you. I did it the majority of the time, but it was like when God would see how you guys could repeatedly enter my energy through some kind of side door, back door, front door method. It's like, no, they all got involved and was like, hey, nah, this shit ain't going. We stopping all of that. But you know what they had to do? They were just catching each energy. That's what God meant when I was the bait and the trap, the golden ticket, and the key. Because of the evil that was drawn to me, and thinking like, hey, I'm not going to get caught for any of my shenanigans, and God was on some shit like, yeah, these motherfuckers think I'm stupid. Okay. And because a lot of you gave me like a real like war like dose of karma during my karmic season for not just 6 years or 8 years, but for the entire 12 years. That's where you messed up at. But God said, I'm going to use that to my advantage. Meaning, your advantage, me. Every trial, every tribulation, every trauma, every drama, every kill, every death, every situation that was meant to hurt me, kill me, bog me down, keep me stuck, and leave me basically for dead, God put it towards my ancestors' debt. And their debt was almost clear. And then these past almost 2 years, I cleared the rest by clearing out the curses throughout over 21 lifetimes of curses. And I'm able to do that because I'm not walking around here hurting other people, doing things maliciously to other people. I'm not making it so people, can't be themselves or live or take care of themselves. Or I'm not causing all kinds of harm and conflict for them. That's you guys. And just because you use my energy at the time to do that and to hide all of your bad acts, that doesn't mean that they didn't go unnoticed. God's seen all of them. They were aware of everything. Everyone, no matter who you are, unless you have lost your ancestral protection, then you have ancestors. Everyone has angels assigned to them, unless you have lost your celestial protection. And everyone has gods assigned to them. Even though in the Bible says one God, like the gods with an S still look up to and check in with the one true God, the divine. But if you have lost your godly protection, then you are what is called you're just two ways I can put this. It's easy to say you're just a fallen angel, and that's why you go around hunting for people and looking for abundant people to cloak yourself in, to hide. And then eventually you want to take over their life. See, God saw that too. And God was like, nah, we ain't going to let that be a thing either. You see what I'm saying? Because I had multiple people doing that. Multiple people wanting to take me out. I mean, all of these covens had the same idea. Okay. And when you get quality energy, it's kind of like you're getting like pure heroin or pure cocaine. And you want to hide that it's out of this world. That's what pure energy does. And I don't necessarily feel what you guys feel, because I am the high energy. So this is normal for me. This is not even me at my highest state, And I'm about to get back there. But God said, hey, you got to finish doing this solid first. And I'm just like, okay. If you ever decide to argue with God, then you're dumb as a box of rocks. All right? Then the other thing with people are, and they're wondering why I'm able to, they say, get away with whatever. You're looking at the world as it is. Okay? And you're saying to yourself, it's the same world. Same people out here. And she's saying that it's changed. And she's saying it's the new age of Aquarius. And she's saying. It, in fact, is the new age of Aquarius. But when you are of a demonic nature and you do not choose to elevate, which is the same as educate your mind and grow spiritually to where you're not hurting people, sabotaging people, no, you won't see that eras in time have changed. Because even though time is not real, but in order for us to know of changes, time is used. And so the old era in time is over, because it's a certain amount of thousands of years that's in that era in time. So when other powers that be, that probably have died and came back, and they manipulated time. Okay? One time they sped it up, and then another time they changed it to confuse you. And it doesn't confuse everyone. you know? Because there's other ways you can tell with what is it? When you want to talk about planets and stars and moons and certain things become evident or close, or you can tell the changes, you know. When your energy is cleared out, your body can shift with the world. It understands what the world is on, meaning not the people in the world and what they're doing and saying, but the world itself, its heartbeat, its hurt, its life, its cleansing process, its renewal, like that. And I'm already hooked and tethered to this earth. So I always could feel it because I change with it, you know. And the main thing that everyone has to do is sit down with yourself, deal with the difficult parts of your life that has held you back, kept you stagnant, kept you stuck, made you so sad and mad or depressed and angry, or had your anxiety messed up, or it triggers you and it backs you into a corner, into a closet, into drugs and alcohol, whatever it is. You have to go through it, tackle it, understand it, to remove it. Not with spell work. Your brain, that has to grow. In order for your brain to grow past the trauma, you have to understand the trauma. It's kind of like if you are a detective on a case and you come across a dead body, you have to figure out with the clues that are left how that happened to that person. You got to do that for your own life too. And then another way to look at it is when something happens to someone else, whether they live to tell about it or they die, you need to think like this: that could have been me. Period. And how could I prevent that from being me? Again, not with spell work. Educating your mind on not how to inflict trauma, how to work past, through, understand, move forward from that trauma. Okay? Because I could tell the people that were sending me folk or doing things to me, they had trauma. And it was the same trauma. It just was a different person. It was a different female, a different male, but it was the same scenario, the same event. Like they did something so much, it was programmed. And even if it was programmed to stop, like something for me, I still understood and saw the programming within what was being done to me. It was like even the people had a script, the toxic people. And I just would say to the inside of myself, I know this is led by someone or something, and it's the same mind, but it's a fucked up mind. It's a mind that is beyond hurt. It's a mind that is beyond traumatized. It is a mind that instead of moving past that trauma, they keep inflicting it on anyone. Just as long as it's not inflicted on them. It's kind of like even if someone isn't doing something to them, but they think about what has happened to them, and they work up a plan to find people to do what happened to them to others. Hurt people like that. But these are some deep-seated wounds that just wasn't going away. And I understood why they weren't going away. It was because of whoever they were around. Kept it going. Because even though it was being inflicted on me, I would grow. I would evolve. I would learn. And I would move past it. I would get, then it'd be like, boop, I'm back in it again from maybe a few months or a couple of years. I'm back in it. It's like, what? And I knew what to do. And then they decided to get even more creative and wipe my mind. And it was like basically I'm starting over. So it's like everything that these people did to me, it was never supposed to be done. And it was all like torture related, slave related, trauma related. It's a mixture. It's kind of like without them being seen for the monsters that they are, they were like the monster behind the curtain. And so now, all God is doing is removing the curtain and exposing the monsters. Because they've tried to make me out to be the monster all this time. And I never was. So, when you have good karma and you're a good person, you speak up for yourself, you stand up for yourself, even if that has to be physical, because if that's what somebody bring it to you, then hey. And no one wants to hear you, no one understands you, you still keep doing it because God hears you, God understands you. Your angels and your ancestors hear you, they understand you. And another way how I was able to make it, let's say someone put me in anguish, and it made me sick. I would ask my angels, my ancestors, and the gods to remove whatever this feeling is from my body. And they would do that within seconds. If someone was sending spell work my way, and it was like to flood my lungs or to fuck with my heart or my crown or my wound or anything, I would ask same three, to remove it from my body, and to send it back to the people where it's supposed to go, whether I know them or not. And they would do it. If I was upset about something, angry about something, sad about something, and I know I have a job to do, even though people don't understand what that job is. It's a very big one that only I can complete, because it's on a global, universal like scale. Okay. And I don't have the time to stay sad or be in my feelings about something or to cry. And I would ask, same, my gods, my ancestors, and my angels to, hey, I'm feeling sad about this right here. Can we replace that sadness with some joy? Can we replace that sadness with some happiness? And then can we remove that fear and put in some love? Like that. In seconds, they would do it. And I would feel it come, and I would feel it leave. I've been through death so many times, spiritually and physically. I know what it feels like. And I do things that I need to, like what they would say do spiritually. Take a spiritual bath, meditate, pray, and I transmute energy, so I would transmute it to the ethers. It's kind of like an allocation type thing. And I could feel it coming off of me, even if it was from somewhere or something else. And I could feel it because I could see it too, moving through the atmosphere, the ethers. And I also, activate all things. Planets, stars, suns, moons, atmospheres, galaxies. Like, for example, mass awakening. The mass awakening includes everyone that basically died prematurely, and because their souls and spirits deserve to live, they come back. But whatever time that was set for that, let's say if there was a lag of 5 to 20 years in between, there's no lag anymore. It's kind of, hey, put them back on the map, because babies are born every 3-4 seconds, at the most 10 seconds, I think. So that's a form of raising the dead. Then another is removing the firmament, and that there are existing people out here that are good and that are trying to learn God's ways and learn more spiritually. And so when I remove the firmament, gods and angels find those bodies and they inhabit them, you know. So those people can grow spiritually and understand and start to awaken. If anyone else is worthy of being a deity, which is a god, then God or gods of different types will find those worthy and inhabit those bodies. And it's different than a demon or whatever you use to bind somebody, because it's such a low vibration. These people are already vibing high, meaning they're doing good things out here in the world and they're thinking on a good level and they're actively being good out here in the world. Okay? It's like that. But the purity of their vessel is what they allow in it to fester and live like that. So if you don't allow from the jealousy, the anger, and all that kind of stuff that purifies more of your vessel. If you don't allow, let's say you're a good person and you're a godly person, and you know that, I'm just gonna say, I don't know, that your boyfriend might be molesting a child or something, and you know it, and you stay with them. It's kind of like, okay, it diminishes the purity, you know, and it's like, in order to raise it, you know, back up or to balance it out within you, you have to actively remove that person from your life to where it doesn't hurt the child or that person. But if that person is truly a danger, then you know what you need to do. You know, that person will have to just be arrested and go. It's things like that. It's about like how you're thinking and what you allow in and what you accept in with other people, you know, and yourself. You know, so if you don't tolerate it, then that means you really don't tolerate it. You can't say you don't tolerate it, but then behind closed doors, you do tolerate it. Okay, see how that goes? I don't tolerate it outside of my vessel. I don't tolerate it outside of my home. And I don't tolerate it inside my vessel. And I don't tolerate it inside my home. You know, like that. And if something or someone comes with the things that I don't tolerate, I would just nicely say to that person, like, hey, you know, I'm not into this, and that. And I don't want this, and that around me. But the way I safeguard myself instead of having to always do a PSA announcement about it is, shit, no, I don't want people in my house. And every time when I opened my heart and opened it to people to come in my actual physical house, they did bad things to me. So And it's with spell work. So therefore I don't, allow anyone to come to my home. If it's not like children that want to play with other kids that I have, then no. Because I want to make sure that the environment is very safe for my niece and my other niece and nephew. So they can just be kids, and not have to worry about that adult stuff, that they can say out their mouth, hey, auntie got that adult stuff covered. She's talked to me about it, but she got me, and I wasn't worried about, I ain't gonna say I wasn't worried, I didn't dwell on all of the different things that were going on, because I know people were putting that on me or projecting it on me and trying to get it to stick. And it's like no one understands. If you are not like what people are projecting, then their projections don't stick. Their projections don't matter. Their projections don't have any weight. It's a part of, if I was a hoe, it's like I would have the conscience of a hoe. And then I would have the guilty conscience of what a hoe has been doing. Okay? That's how that goes. But because I'm not a hoe, I don't have a guilty conscience of one, and I'm not hiding anything because there's nothing to hide. You see? And so whatever anyone is saying, it won't stick because it's not me. And then whatever other people are doing to pin it on me, it's a whole logic and common sense thing of, okay, it's not my phone, it's not my house, it's not me on the camera, it's not my car, where I was at that time and where these people are and this computer. You understand? It's a whole like CSI shit, or feds. It's a detective type shit. They can see it like, oh damn, she's not around there. And you work to clear off your karma. You work to clear it off by clearing out your trauma. Because the trauma in your DNA comes from your lineage and what was going on in the past through your lineage, family situations, curses from other people put on your family. And you're wondering when you're walking and something traumatic happens to you, it's because when that bad person is looking for that, it's an energy, it's a frequency. And the frequency will match you only because you have past karmic debt. Not because it's something you're doing. It's because of the karmic debt in your DNA, and that was one of the things that was placed on your family in your DNA. And that energy is still being given off by your DNA, not necessarily by you. And so you're found and you're a target, you know. It's like you have to become uh, your own advocate for yourself every day of your life. You know, and just not put yourself in situations. And sometimes people say, hey, that's like not living. No, you can. You can live. All I'm saying is while you're living, you clear out your karmic debt so those things can't find you and attack you and attach to you and hurt you and keep you stuck. Okay? So, even though I didn't have any karma, the way they can still attach karma to people is, of course, through the spirits of alcohol and drugs. I'm talking about hard drugs. I ain't talking about weed. And I don't even know why they put weed in the category with drugs. And let me explain why. Weed doesn't make you depressed. Weed changes your mood from sad to happy. Weed uplifts you versus putting you down. Weed, if your body's in pain, it helps the pain. So when you look at uppers and downers and shit like that, it's an upper. Natural upper too. And drugs are made. And then if you're looking at the purity of like cocaine, shit, that's an upper too. You get it? Things don't become bad for you until you overindulge in it, no matter what it is. You know? And the only way somebody of a demonic nature could take advantage of you is if you overindulge in it. That means you're not coherent. Like your senses are not all spot on. It's one of those things where, okay, you know you drunk and you can't hold your liquor and you already stumbling and stuff like that. But if you drink and you say, hey, I know my limit. 5 is my limit, whatever. And you can still function and be able to make things out. It's things like that. Everyone's chemical makeup is different because everything in everyone is different. So the thing about everybody being the same is not true. No, we're all different. And when you go within and you clear out your trauma, when you elevate spiritually and God starts to talk to you, God will tell you what type of genetic code you got, what type of person you are, what type of what your body is connected to in this world, and what your mission is and what you are supposed to be doing here. And no matter what the world wants to do to you, they can't, because you have tapped in to the point where God has said, man, you've done the work, and now you deserve the rewards of knowing who you are and why you are here and what you're supposed to be doing here. See, the job that I do is connected to this earth. It's connected to the universe. It's connected to the other planets. It's like I'm an activator. I'm a beacon. I am like a lighthouse in the dark. I'm what starts or sparks the start of any and everything, pretty much. So when you got a codes in you and you able to do certain things, I don't know if I want to say, but when you have that, you have to maintain balance, sanity, and a level of happy. And when you're thinking on a 3D level on, man, how is she doing this? Why isn't this and that? You're not the ones that's helping me. Obviously, you're hurting me. The 5D is helping me. That's who I call on. I don't call on y'all. Get it? Like, you're doing things to hurt me for me to call on you guys and submit to you guys. And then as you're doing things to hurt me, I call on God and my angels and my ancestors, and they help me. See, I already went God's route. I didn't go man's route. So no matter how long ago you did the spell work, no matter how long you've been talking to me, no matter. And then you're like, hey, by this time this should have worked. The reason why it hasn't and it's not is because I didn't go to you for help. Because I already knew and was told that none of you are helping me. You have been the catalyst to hurting me. You have been the main things actively destroying me. So it's like, why would I knock on my destroyer's door or, contact my destroyer spiritually and be like, hey, I need your help? Mm-mm. And that's how that goes. And in order to do what I am doing, you have to have faith, belief, hope, optimism, happiness, and love, joy. Everything basically that you don't see that's good for you, you have to understand and accept the fact it's good for you. That you deserve the good. And if you've been through so much bad shit, why don't you deserve the good? I've been through so much bad shit. I've always known I deserved the good because I didn't put out none of the bad. But see, I didn't know I needed to extinguish the bad in order to enjoy the good. And even if you are, let's say, in my family and you might have thought certain things about me and had a certain impression about me, and you just got on the side of the bad folks. Sometimes a lot of bad folks don't explain all of what they do and who they really are. They always say like they're good, and you find out later on that they actually bad, and you feel bad about what you've done to me. I'm still saying to you, even if it's a friend or a coworker, family, whatever, don't feel bad about it. Because you know now. Stop dealing with them. Leave them alone. Because everything needs to be fed. And you, believe it or not, you feed them when you call them. When you go and you show up for the meetings and you do, that's feeding. So when you realize that, damn, I'm playing for the wrong team, or gosh, they're just evil as fuck, or damn, they do this type shit and I wasn't aware. Now that you are aware, cut your losses. Don't look at the money that you lost. Don't look at the time that you lost. Don't look at what you thought you was going to get and it didn't happen. You should be happy that you're not in fucking jail and that you have your life and that you can change your circumstances. Because I'm still doing this to help out my family. I'm still doing this to help out my parents. I'm still doing this to help out my brother. I'm still doing this to help out myself. And I'm still doing this to help out the rest of the world. So it's like, why dig a deeper hole for yourself when you already know that you've dug a pretty good one already? And if you need to get yourself out of that fucking hole and it's 6 feet deep, why would you turn around and make it 10 feet deep? I'm just saying, why? No, you dig yourself out of the 6 feet hole. You know? Jacia. They almost here. I think they say she arriving now. Or he arriving now. You gonna go out there or you want me to go? I ordered her something. But I've been on here for a minute. And so I'm going to get off of here. But I hope I was able to give more information to the point where you understand that, okay, there's a way out. And that what I'm doing is not only for me, for the rest of the world too. And also, just to make sure that everybody can live a life where somebody ain't holding some shit over your head. You know, or making you do something because they threaten to expose something about you. Or, you know, some of the shit that people have got you in and you won't down with the shit, but you wanted to elevate your career, you know. You ain't got to do none of that shit no more. It's stuff like that. You know, and people might say, hey, you interrupting the flow of what's going on. Well, that flow has already been interrupted because it wasn't supposed to go on in the first fucking place. And that's from God, because the world has been on repeat 600 years times 6. 3,600 years. And you might not realize that you have been in a 3,600-year loop. So, what if you came back each lifetime? Maybe 2 or 3 times. Each lifetime, 2 or 3 times. Alright? And 2 to 3 times per 600 years. And you still didn't realize you were in a loop for the first 600, second 600, third 600, fourth 600, fifth 600, then the 6th. But in the 6 days, God did what he did with the world. 7th day he rests. Alright? Okay? First day, 600 years. Second day, 1,200 years. Third day, 1,800 years. You gotta look at it like that. Fourth day, like that. Okay? And now, we've actually passed 3,600 years about 6 months ago. Or 8 months ago. Somewhere around in there. So now we're in the 8th day. The 7th day was breaking up the fuck shit. The loop. That's 600. The 8th day is 2 things. A continuation of a restart, meaning new. You can look at it like the world starts over, new, every 3,600 years. But you also need to look at it like this. When God says, once the age of Aquarius comes in, no one's going back to the old world. Never, ever, 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 ever. So that means everyone needs to have a new perspective on how to live their life. And they need to live their life in a more just manner. And you need to be able to articulate yourself to resolve your issues so it doesn't relate or it doesn't turn into trauma. Because nobody lives long going through trauma. So the age of Aquarius forces elevation, forces education worldwide. It forces what's hidden to be uncovered. It forces you to grow your mind, whether you want to or not. Because God cannot allow you to stay in that vibration, because the world, the planet you live in, isn't in that vibration. The universe isn't in that vibration. Okay? And because it's karma time, or let's say even if it wasn't karma time, but because the world isn't in that vibration, it's kind of like once it spots that frequency, it will seek to eliminate you. Just like the lower vibration people were seeking to eliminate me. This is why they thought they still could do what they were doing, because they were still thinking the world was in the lower vibration of life. And it has changed. Been changed. It's just that the change didn't catch up to those people because they are vibing extremely too low. So they don't get none of the information. None of it. You gotta be vibing a certain level even to tap into certain shit. You know, it's a way God controls the flow of information. It's like God is on some shit like, if you're worthy to have it, you shall have it. Meaning, by your merit, by the level of work that you have done on yourself, not the level of conflict that you want to inflict on other people. So, based upon your merit, that's decided where you are. Instead of you stealing merit and killing merit from other people and still stealing it, instead of you faking that merit or what's the thing people do? As you go along, or you study somebody and then you want to mimic that person. No. That's the difference. Satan or the devil or whatever you want to call them, they'll let you do that. Because, hey, in order for them to live, they have to hop bodies. Because they know what they're doing is draining to your vessel. They know what they're doing is killing your vessel. So when you're vibing that low and you're killing for sport, draining a vessel for sport, you know what's going to happen to yours. Yours going to be drained on purpose. That's just how that goes. So it's no more like, hey, we're going to tuck this away and keep this away and hide this and hide that and do this, do that. No. All underhanded practices God ain't down with. God looks at that as the world lying to him and lying to her. And God ain't down with that. So, things got to be made right. Things got to be made fair. And things got to be handled in a proper way that God see fit. That's really what it's all about. It ain't even about me. It's about what that man upstairs want and what the woman upstairs want. And that's another thing. Stop excluding the female God. You live in her. Like, what the fuck? You live on earth. Earth is a fucking God. All the shit that earth does that you don't have to do to it for it to do it is a God. Mother God is real. She does the hard work. Universe work. Akashic record work. Earth work. That means allocating things to the soul, like to the spirit, lining them stars up, okay, making sure that atmosphere got some good conditions in it, them clouds continue to flow. Earth actually breathes just like us. You can look it up. It's living.